In the late 1940s, a group of Soviet scientists set out to answer a question no one had ever dared to test. What happens if a human being never sleeps? Their subjects weren't volunteers from a university. They were political prisoners, men who had already lost their freedom. The offer was simple: remain awake for 30 days, and when the experiment was over, you walk free. 5 prisoners accepted. They were moved into a sealed chamber stocked with enough food, water, books, and supplies to survive for over a month. Instead of sleeping, the chamber would be filled with an experimental stimulant gas designed to keep them awake without losing consciousness. Scientists watched every movement through reinforced glass. Microphones recorded every conversation. For the first 4 days, nothing unusual happened. The prisoners laughed, read books, played cards, spoke about their families. One even joked that 30 days would be the easiest way to earn his freedom. Then, on the 5th day, everything changed. The conversations became whispers. Each prisoner became convinced the others were secretly informing on him. Friends stopped speaking. Paranoia replaced conversation. The microphones captured hours of quiet muttering directed toward the walls, as though someone on the other side was listening. Then, complete silence. For nearly an entire day, the microphones recorded almost nothing. The scientists couldn't understand it. 5 awake men, locked together, and not a single word. When they tried looking through the observation windows, they couldn't. The prisoners had torn pages from their books, covered them in waste, and pasted them across every window. The researchers could no longer see inside. All they knew was that oxygen consumption remained unusually high, meaning the prisoners were still alive. Days passed. Still no voices, no movement, nothing. Fearing the experiment had gone horribly wrong, the scientists announced they were opening the chamber. The loudspeaker crackled. "We are opening the door. Stand away from the entrance." For the first time in days, a voice answered, softly, "We no longer wish to be free." The chamber was opened. The soldiers froze. Food supplies remained untouched. The room was covered in blood. The prisoners looked almost unrecognizable. Some had inflicted horrific injuries upon themselves. Others simply stared, smiling. One prisoner fought the soldiers with unbelievable determination. Another repeatedly begged for only one thing: "Don't take away the gas." As doctors attempted to sedate him, he reportedly whispered one sentence, a sentence that would become famous across the world: "We are the madness that lurks inside all of you." If you've never heard this story before, it's disturbing. If you have heard it before, you've probably wondered the same thing everyone else has. Did this actually happen? The answer is no. There was no secret Soviet laboratory, no classified sleep experiment, no military cover-up, no evidence that any of these prisoners ever existed. The entire story first appeared online in 2010, written by an anonymous user as a horror story, a creepypasta. And yet, millions of people believed it. Why? Because it mixed fiction with something completely real: sleep deprivation. Scientists have known for decades that the human brain begins to change dramatically without sleep. After just 24 hours awake, your reaction time resembles that of someone who is legally intoxicated. After 2 days, memory begins failing. Decision-making becomes unreliable. Emotions become unstable. After 3 days, hallucinations become increasingly common. People report hearing voices, seeing movement in empty rooms, feeling watched. The line between dreams and reality begins to blur. Your brain starts forcing itself into something called microsleeps, Brief moments where parts of your brain shut down without your permission, even while your eyes remain open. In other words, the Russian sleep experiment was never real, but it was built from real science, and that's exactly why it spread across the internet. Because the best horror stories don't invent entirely new fears. They take real ones and push them just far enough beyond reality to make us wonder, what if?